Turks in Germany also referred to as German Turks and Turkish Germans. German, Türken in Deutschland, Deutsch-Türken, Turkish, Alamanciler, are ethnic Turkish people living in Germany. These terms are also used to refer to German-born individuals who are of full or partial Turkish ancestry. The majority of Turks arrived or originate from Turkey, although some ethnic Turkish communities in Germany trace their ancestry to other parts of southeastern Europe or the Levant, such as Balkan Turks and Turkish Cypriots. At present, ethnic Turkish people form the largest ethnic minority in Germany. They also form the largest Turkish population in the Turkish diaspora. Most people of Turkish descent in Germany trace their ancestry to the Gastarbeiter guest worker programs in the 1960s and 1970s. In 1961, in the midst of an economic boom that resulted in a significant labor shortage, Germany signed a bilateral agreement with Turkey to allow German companies to recruit Turkish workers. The agreement was in place for 12 years, during which around 650,000 workers came from Turkey to Germany. Many also brought their spouses and children with them. Turks who immigrated to Germany brought cultural elements with them, including the Turkish language. History equal to Turkish migration from the Seljuk Empire and the Rum Seljuk Sultanate, equal to during a series of invading crusades by European Christian armies into lands ruled by Turkic rulers in the Middle East, namely under the Seljuk Turks in the Seljuk Empire and the Rum Seljuk Sultanate, but also the Bahri Mamluk Sultanate. Many crusaders brought back Turkish male and female prisoners of war to Europe. Women were generally baptized and then married, whilst every returning baron and count had male prisoners of war in his entourage. Some of the Bute Turken, booty Turks, taken to Germany during the Crusades also included children and young adults. The earliest documented Turk in Germany is believed to be Sadık Seli Sultan Mehmet Sadık Selim Sultan, ca. c. 8 from the Anatolian 128, from the. According to Streiter's Hessisches Gellerten Lexikon, Sultan was a Turkish officer who was captured by Count von Lechtemir Reinhard von Württemberg during his return to Germany from the Holy Land in 1291. By 1304, Sultan married Rebecca de Lorraine. He was baptized the following year as Johann Soldan, but out of special love to him, the count gave him a Turkish nobility coat of arms. Soldan and his wife had at least 3 sons, including Eberhardus, Christianus, and Melchior. Another source specifies that Sultan came with Count Reinhard von Württemberg to the residential town of Brackenheim in 1304 and was then baptized in 1305 at S. Johannes Church as Johannes Soldan. There is also evidence that Sultan had a total of 12 sons born in 20 years with Anna Delcherin and Rebecca Bergmanin. 8 of his sons passed to the clergy and do not appear in genealogy records due to compulsory celibacy associated with the clergy. Sultan Soldan's descendants, who were more widespread in southwest Germany, include notable German artists, scholars, doctors, lawyers, and politicians. For example, through his maternal grandmother, the renowned German poet and writer Johann Wolfgang von Goethe belonged to the descendants of the Soldan family and thus had Turkish ancestry. Bernd Engelmann has said that the German poet prince, i.e. Goethe with Oriental ancestors, is by no means a rare exception. Indeed, other descendants of the first recorded Turk in Germany include the lawyer Hans Soldan, the city architects and wine masters Heinrich Soldan, and his son Johann Soldan, who both served as mayor of Frankenberg. The sculptor and artist Philip Soldan, and the pharmacist Karl Soldan, who founded the confectionery company Dr. C. Soldan. Karl Soldan's grandson, Perry Soldan, has said that the family continued to use the crescent and star on their coat of arms. According to Latif Selik, as of the Soldan family numbered, and are also found in Austria, Finland, France, and Switzerland, equal to Turkish migration from the Ottoman Empire, equal to the Turkish people, had greater contact with the German states by the 16th century, when the Ottoman Empire attempted to expand their territories beyond the North Balkan. Territories. The Ottoman Turks held 2 sieges in Vienna, the First Siege of Vienna in 1529, and the Second Siege of Vienna in 1683. The aftermath of the Second Siege provided the circumstances for a Turkish community to permanently settle in Germany. Many Ottoman soldiers and camp followers who were left behind after the Second Siege of Vienna became stragglers or prisoners. It is estimated that at least 500 Turkish prisoners were forcibly settled in Germany. Historical records show that some Turks became traders or took up other professions, particularly in southern Germany. Some Turks fared very well in Germany, for example. One Ottoman Turk is recorded to have been raised to the Hanoverian nobility. Historical records also show that many Ottoman Turks converted to Christianity and became priests or pastors. The aftermath of the Second Siege of Vienna led to a series of wars between the Ottoman Empire and the Holy League, known as the Great Turkish War, or the War of the Holy League, which led to a series of Ottoman defeats. Consequently, more Turks were taken by the Europeans as prisoners. The Turkish captives taken to Germany were not solely made up of men. For example, General Schöning took two of the most beautiful women in the world in Buda, who later converted to Christianity. Another Turkish captive named Fatima became the mistress of Augustus II, the strong Elector of Saxony of the Albertine line of the House of Wettin. Fatima and Augustus had two children. Their son, Frederick Augustus Rutowski, became the commander of the Saxon army in 1754–63, whilst their daughter, Maria Anna Katharina Rutowska, married into Polish nobility. Records show that at this point it was not uncommon for Turks in Germany to convert to Christianity. For example, records show that 28 Turks converted to Christianity and were settled in Württemberg. With the establishment of the Kingdom of Prussia in 1701, Turkish people continued to enter the German lands as soldiers employed by the Prussian kings. Historical records show that this was particularly evident with the expansion of Prussia in the mid-18th century. For example, in 1731, the Duke of Kurland presented 20 Turkish guardsmen to King Frederick William I, and at one time, about 1,000 Muslim soldiers are said to have served in the Prussian cavalry. The Prussian kings' fascination with the Enlightenment was reflected in their consideration for the religious concerns of their Muslim troops. By 1740, Frederick the Great stated that all religions are just as good as each other, as long as the people who practice them are honest, and even if Turks and heathens came and wanted to populate this country, then we would build mosques and temples for them. By 1763, an Ottoman legation existed at the Prussian court in Berlin. Its third envoy, Ali Aziz Effendi, died in 1798, which led to the establishment of the first Muslim cemetery in Germany. However, several decades later, there was a need for another cemetery, as well as a mosque, and the Ottoman Sultan Abdulaziz was given permission to patronize a mosque in Berlin in 1866. Once trading treaties were established between the Ottomans and the Prussians in the 19th century, Turks and Germans were encouraged to cross over to each other's lands for trade. Consequently, the Turkish community in Germany, and particularly in Berlin, grew significantly, as did a German community in Istanbul in the years before the First World War. These contacts influenced the building of various Turkish-style structures in Germany, such as the Yenidze cigarette factory in Dresden and the Dampfmaschinenhaus für Sanssouci pumping station in Potsdam. During this time, there were also marriages between Germans and Turks, for example. Karl Boy Ed, who was the naval attaché to the German embassy in Washington during World War I, was born into a German-Turkish family. Equal to Turkish migration from the Republic of Türkiye in the 1950s, West Germany experienced an economic boom, Wirtschaftswunder, or economic miracle. Exacerbated by the construction of the Berlin Wall in 1961 that prevented migration from East Germany. In response, the West German government signed a labor recruitment agreement with Turkey on 30 October 1961 and officially invited Turkish workers to emigrate to the country, initially on visas limited to 2 years, although this was quickly lifted following complaints by German employers. Most Turkish immigrants intended to live there temporarily and then return to Turkey so that they could build a new life with the money they had earned. Indeed, return migration increased during the recession of 1966-1967 and the 1973 oil crisis. Under Helmut Kohl, the government also attempted to encourage immigrants to return to their countries of origin with financial incentives, although this was largely unsuccessful. Overall, the proportion of Turkish immigrants who returned to Turkey remained relatively small. This was partly due to the family reunification rights that were introduced in 1974, which allowed Turkish workers to bring their families to Germany. Consequently, between 1974 and 1988, the number of Turks in Germany nearly doubled, acquiring a balanced sex ratio and a much younger age profile than the German population. Once the recruitment of foreigner workers was reintroduced after the recession of 1967, the BFA Bundesversicherungsanstalt für Angestellte granted most work visas to women. This was in part because labor shortages continued in low-paying, low-status service jobs such as electronics, textiles, and garment work, and in part to further the goal of family reunification. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 and the reunification of East and West Germany was followed by intense public debate around national identity and citizenship, including the place of Germany's Turkish minority in the future of a united Germany. These debates about citizenship were accompanied by expressions of xenophobia and ethnic violence that targeted the Turkish population. Anti-immigrant sentiment was especially strong in the 4 former eastern states of Germany, which underwent profound social and economic transformations during the reunification process. Turkish communities experienced considerable fear for their safety throughout Germany, with some 1,500 reported cases of right-wing violence and 2,200 cases the year after. The political rhetoric calling for foreigner-free zones, Ausländer-free Zonen, and the rise of neo-Nazi groups sharpened public awareness of integration issues and generated intensified support among liberal Germans for the competing idea of Germany as a multicultural society. Citizenship by birth was restricted to the children of German citizens until the mid-2000s. However, increasing numbers of second-generation Turkish Germans have opted for German citizenship and are becoming more involved in the political process. Equal to Turkish migration from the Balkans, equal to Bulgaria. Initially, Turkish Bulgarians arrived in Germany following the introduction of family reunification laws in 1974. They were able to take advantage of this law despite the very small number of Bulgarian citizens in Germany, because some Turkish workers in Germany who arrived from Turkey were actually part of the Turkish minority who had left Bulgaria during the communist regime in the 1980s and still held Bulgarian citizenship alongside their Turkish citizenship. The migration of Turkish Bulgarians to Germany increased further once communism in Bulgaria ended in 1989. In particular, Turkish Bulgarians who did not join the massive migration wave to Turkey during the so-called revival process faced severe economic disadvantages and discrimination resulting from the state policies of Bulgarization. Hence, from the early 1990s onwards, many Bulgarian Turks sought asylum in Germany. The number of Turkish-speaking Roma, people from Bulgaria in Germany, has significantly increased since Bulgaria was admitted into the European Union, which has allowed many Bulgarian Turkish Roma to use the freedom of movement to enter Germany. The Bulgarian Turkish Roma have generally been attracted to Germany because they rely on the well-established Turkish-German community for gaining employment. Thus, the social network of the first waves of political emigration, as well as the preservation of kinship, has opened an opportunity for many Turkish Bulgarian to continue to migrate to Western Europe, with the majority continuing to settling in Germany. As a result, Turkish Roma from Bulgaria in Germany outnumber the large Turkish Roma Bulgarian diasporas in countries such as the Netherlands, where they make up about 80% of Bulgarian citizens. Greece. From the 1950s onward, the Turkish minority of Greece, particularly the Turks of Western Thrace, began to immigrate to Germany alongside other Greek citizens. Whilst many Western Thrace Turks had intended to return to Greece after working for a number of years, a new Greek law was introduced which effectively forced the minority to remain in Germany. Article 19 of the Greek nationality law gave the government the power to strip non-ethnic Greek citizens of their citizenship upon leaving the country without the possibility of an appeal. This law continued to affect Western Thrace Turks studying in Germany in the late 1980s, even those who had intended to return to Greece. It was not repealed until 1998. Despite risking the loss of their Greek citizenship, Western Thrace Turks continued to emigrate to Germany in large numbers. Firstly, in the 1960s and 1970s, many came to Germany because the Thracian tobacco industry was affected by a severe crisis, and many tobacco growers lost their income. Between 1970 and 2010, approximately 40,000 Western Thrace Turks emigrated to Western Europe, most of whom settled in Germany. In addition, between 2010 and 2018, a further 30,000 Western Thrace Turks left for Western Europe due to the Greek government debt crisis. Of these 70,000 immigrants, which excludes the numbers which arrived before 1970, around 80% live in Germany. In 2013, Samail Yusuf became the first Western Thrace Turk to become a member of the German parliament. She was the first Muslim to be elected for the Christian Democratic Union of Germany. North Macedonia there has been migration from the Turkish Macedonian minority group, which have come to Germany alongside other citizens of North Macedonia, including ethnic Macedonians and Albanian Macedonians. In Furkan Kako, who is a former Macedonian minister and member of the Security Council, urged Turkish Macedonians living in Germany to participate in North Macedonia's census. Romania. Between 2002 and 2011, there was a significant decrease in the population of the Turkish-Romanian minority group due to the admission of Romania into the European Union and the subsequent relaxation of the traveling and migration regulations. Hence, Turkish Romanians, especially from the Dobruja region, have joined other Romanian citizens, e.g. ethnic Romanians, Tatars, etc., in migrating mostly to Germany, Austria, Italy, Spain, and the UK, equal to Turkish migration from the Levant, equal to Cyprus. Turkish Cypriots migrants began to leave the island of Cyprus for Western Europe due to economic and political reasons in the 20th century, especially after the Cyprus crisis of 1963-64, and then the 1974 Cypriot coup d'état, carried out by the Greek military junta, which was followed by the reactionary Turkish invasion of the island. More recently, with the 2004 enlargement of the European Union, Turkish Cypriots who hold Cypriot citizenship have had the right to live and work across the European Union, including in Germany as EU citizens. As of 2016, there are approximately 2,000 Turkish Cypriots in Germany, which is the second largest Turkish Cypriot diaspora in Western Europe, after the UK. The TRNC, unrecognized, provides assistance to its Turkish Cypriots residents living in Germany via the TRNC Berlin Honorary Representative Office, the TRNC Köln Honorary Representative Office, the TRNC Bavarian Honorary Attaché, and the TRNC Bavarian Honorary Representative Office. These representative offices and honorary representatives also promote friendly relations between Northern Cyprus and Germany, as well as economic and cultural relations. Lebanon. Due to the numerous wars in Lebanon, since the 1970s onwards, many Turkish Lebanese people have sought refuge in Turkey and Europe, particularly in Germany. Indeed, many Lebanese Turks were aware of the large Turkish-German population and saw this as an opportunity to find work once settling in Europe. In particular, the largest wave of Turkish-Lebanese migration occurred once the Israel-Lebanon War of 2006 began. During this period, more than 20,000 Turks fled Lebanon, particularly from Beirut, and settled in European countries, including Germany. Iraq. In 2008, there were 85,000 Iraqis living in Germany, of which approximately 7,000 were from the Turkish-Iraqi minority group. Hence, the Iraqi Turks formed around 8.5% of the total number of Iraqi citizens living in Germany. The majority of Iraqi Turks live in Munich. Syria established in Germany the Suriye Turkmen Kultur ve Yardımlaşma Derneği Avrupa, or SKYDA. Syrian Turkmen Culture and Solidarity Association Europe was the first Syrian Turkmen association to be launched in Europe. It was established in order to help the growing Syrian Turkmen community, which arrived in the country since the European migrant crisis, which started in 2014 and saw its peak in 2015. The association includes Syrian Turkmen youth activists originating from all Syrian cities and who are now living across Western European cities. Equal to Turkish migration from the modern diaspora, equal to in addition to ethnic Turkish people that have migrated to Germany from post-Ottoman modern nation-states. There has also been an increasing migration wave from the modern Turkish diaspora. For example, members of the Turkish Dutch community have also arrived in Germany as Dutch citizens. According to a study by Petra Wieke de Jong, focusing on second-generation Turkish Dutch people specifically born between the years 1983 and 1992 only. 805 people from this age group and generation reported Germany as their country of emigration in 2001 to 2017. A further 1,761 people in this group did not report their emigration destination. Demographics equal to population equal to German state data, and estimates the German state does not allow citizens to self-declare their identity. Consequently, the statistics published in the official German census does not show data on ethnicity. According to the 2011 census, 2.7 million German residents had a migration background from Turkey. However, this excludes ethnic Turks with both parents who were born with German citizenship, as well as the significant ethnic Turkish communities which have migrated to Germany from the Balkans and the Levant. As early as 1997, that is 14 years before the 2011 census, the Chancellor of Germany, Helmut Kohl, said that there was already 3 million Turks living in Germany. Moreover, at the time of the 2011 census, a report published by the Embassy of Germany, Washington, D.C. said that there were roughly 4 million Turks in Germany, of which 2 million had German citizenship. More recently, in 2013, the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, said that Germany's Leitkultur needs to be accepted by Germany's 7 million Turkish immigrants. Academic estimates throughout the decades, estimates by academics of the Turkish-German population, have varied. In 1990, David Scott Bell et al. Put it at between 2.5 million and 3 million Turks in Germania. Lower 1993 estimate by Stephen J. Blank et al. Said there were 1.8 million Turks. The German government's Special Commission on Integration, Barbara John, estimated that there were more than 3 million Turks, including third-generation descendants, and that's 79,000. New babies were born each year within the community. The estimate of 3 million was also given by other scholars in the mid-1990s. A higher estimate of 4 million Turks, including 3 generations, was reported by John Pilger in 1993 and the Deutsches Orient Institut in 1994. Moreover, Marilia Veteto Conrad said that in the German capital there was already over 1 million Turks in Berlin alone in 1996. In 2003, Ina Kotter et al. Said that there was more than 4 million people of Turkish origin in Germany. This has also been reiterated by other scholars. However, Michael Murphy-Andreg said that by the 2000s Germany was home to at least 5 million Turks. Various scholars have also given this estimate. Jet Clausen cited German statistics in 2005 showing 2.4 million Turks, but acknowledged that unlike Catholics, Protestants, and Jews, the Turkish community cannot allocate their ethnic or religious identity in official counts. Indeed, a 2007 study by Clifford Geertz claimed that there was already 2 million Turks in Berlin alone. A higher estimate of 7 million Turks was given by Paul Gottfried in 2003, and Tessa Szyszkowitz quoted a senior European official who also said there was 7 million Turks living in Germany in 2005. As of 2020, numerous scholars have estimated that there are approximately 7 million Turks in Germany, including Graham E. Fuller, James G. Lacey, Daniela Colai, and George K. Zestos and Rachel N. Cook. Non-academic reports published by The Times, the Foundation for Subsidiarity, and Marianne have also suggested this figure. Equal to settlements, equal to the Turkish community in Germany is concentrated predominantly in urban centers. The vast majority are found in the former West Germany, particularly in industrial regions such as the states of North Rhine-Westphalia, where a third of Turkish Germans live, and Baden-Württemberg and the working-class neighborhoods of cities like Berlin, Hamburg, Bremen, Bochum, Bonn, Cologne, Dortmund, Duisburg, Düsseldorf, Essen, Frankfurt, Hanover, Heidelberg, Mannheim, Mainz, Nuremberg, Munich, Stuttgart, Aachen and Wiesbaden. Among the German districts in 2011, Duisburg, Gelsenkirchen, Heilbronn, Herne and Ludwigshafen had the highest shares of migrants from Turkey according to census data. Equal to return migration, equal to, in regards to return migration, many Turkish nationals and Turkish Germans have also migrated from Germany to Turkey for retirement or professional reasons. Official German records show that there are 2.8 million returnees. However, the German embassy in Ankara estimates the true number to be 4 million. Acknowledging the differences in German official data and the realities of the underreporting by migrants. Integration. Turkish immigrants make up Germany's largest immigrant group and have been ranked last in Berlin Institute's integration ranking. During a speech in Düsseldorf in 2011, Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan urged Turks in Germany to integrate, but not assimilate, a statement that caused a political outcry in Germany. The Turks in Turkey, especially more progressive-leaning, and those from large cities like Istanbul, can occasionally have somewhat negative views of the Turks in Germany, specifically descendants of the first Turkish Gastarbeiters, for their generally more conservative Islamist political views. Sometimes they are called Almansi, literal translation Germaner. Almanya, meaning Germany in Turkish. They are sometimes regarded as having insufficiently assimilated by the Germans yet having excessively assimilated by the Turks in the homeland. Equal to citizenship, equal to, for decades, Turkish citizens in Germany were unable to become German citizens because of the traditional German construct of nationhood. The legal notion of citizenship was based on blood ties of a German parent jus sanguinis, as opposed to citizenship based on country of birth and residence, jus soli. This adhered to the political notion that Germany was not a country of immigration. For this reason, only those who were of partial Turkish origin and had one parent who was ethnically German could obtain German citizenship. In 1990, Germany's citizenship law was somewhat relaxed with the introduction of the Foreigners' Law. This gave Turkish workers the right to apply for a permanent residency permit after 8 years of living in the country. People of Turkish origin born in Germany who were also legally foreign were given the right to acquire German citizenship at the age of 18, provided that they gave up their Turkish citizenship. There was no right to dual citizenship out of fears it would increase the Turkish population in the country. Chancellor Helmut Kohl officially gave this as the main reason for denying dual citizenship in 1997. If today, 1997, we give in to demands for dual citizenship, we would soon have 4, 5, or 6 million Turks in Germany, instead of 3 million, Chancellor Helmut Kohl in 1997. However, in 1999, the center-left government of Gerhard Schröder further liberalized Germany's citizenship laws. Non-citizens became eligible for naturalization after 8 years of legal residence in the country, and children born in Germany to foreign parents automatically became citizens if at least one had been a permanent resident for at least 8 years. Such children also gained a right to dual citizenship until the age of 23, at which point they had to choose between their German citizenship or the citizenship of their parents' country of birth. Former Turkish citizens who have given up their citizenship can apply for the blue card Mavi Kart, which gives them some rights in Turkey, such as the right to live and work in Turkey, the right to possess and inherit land, or the right to inherit, but not the right to vote. In 2000s, the year following the citizenship reform, a then record 187,000 people were naturalized in Germany, 44%, 83,000 of whom were of Turkish origin. Over the following 2 decades, A further 630,000 Turkish people took German citizenship. By 2011, the Embassy of Germany, Washington, D.C. reported that as of 2005 there were 2 million Turks who already had German citizenship. Culture. The Turkish people who immigrated to Germany brought their culture with them, including their language, religion, food, and arts. These cultural traditions have also been passed down to their descendants who maintain these values. Consequently, Turkish Germans have also exposed their culture to the greater German society. Numerous Turkish restaurants, grocery stores, tea houses, and mosques are scattered across Germany. The Turks in Germany have also been exposed to German culture, which has influenced the Turkish dialect spoken by the Turkish community in Germany. Equal to food, equal to Turkish cuisine first arrived in Germany during the 16th century and was consumed among aristocratic circles. However, Turkish food became available to the greater German society from the mid-20th century onwards with the arrival of Turkish immigrants. By the early 1970s, Turks began to open fast food restaurants serving popular kebab dishes. Today, there are Turkish restaurants scattered throughout the country selling popular dishes like doner kebab, in takeaway stalls to more authentic domestic foods in family-run restaurants. Since the 1970s, Turks have opened grocery stores and open-air markets, where they sell ingredients suitable for Turkish home cooking, such as spices, fruits, and vegetables. Equal to language, equal to Turkish is the second most spoken language in Germany after German. It was brought to the country by Turkish immigrants who spoke it as their first language. These immigrants mainly learned German through employment, mass media, and social settings, and it has now become a second language for many of them. Nonetheless, most Turkish immigrants have passed down their mother tongue to their children and descendants. In general, Turkish Germans become bilingual at an early age, learning Turkish at home and German in state schools. Thereafter, a dialectal variety often remains in their repertoire of both languages. Turkish Germans mainly speak the German language more fluently than their domestic-style Turkish language. Consequently, they often speak the Turkish language with a German accent or a modeled German dialect. It is also common within the community to modify the Turkish language by adding German grammatical and syntactical structures. Parents generally encourage their children to improve their Turkish language skills further by attending private Turkish classes or choosing Turkish as a subject at school. In some states of Germany, the Turkish language has even been approved as a subject to be studied for the Abitur. Turkish has also been influential in Greater German society. For example, advertisements and banners in public spaces can be found written in Turkish. Hence, it is also familiar to other ethnic groups. It can even serve as a vernacular for some non-Turkish children and adolescents in urban neighborhoods with dominant Turkish communities. It is also common within the Turkish community to code switch between the German and Turkish languages. By the early 1990s, a new sociolect called Kaynaksprach or Türkendeutsch was coined by the Turkish-German author Feridun Zaimoglu to refer to the German ghetto dialect spoken by the Turkish youth. However, with the developing formation of a Turkish middle class in Germany, there is an increasing number of people of Turkish origin who are proficient in using the standard German language, particularly in academia and the arts. Equal to religion, equal to the Turkish people in Germany are predominantly Muslim and form the largest ethnic group which practices Islam in Germany. Since the 1960s, Turkish was seen as synonymous with Muslim. This is because Islam is considered to have a Turkish character in Germany. This Turkish character is particularly evident in the Ottoman Turkish-style architecture of many mosques scattered across Germany. In 2016, approximately 2,000 of Germany's 3,000 mosques were Turkish, of which 900 were financed by the Diyanet İşleri Türk İslam Birliği, an arm of the Turkish government, and the remainder by other political Turkish groups. There is an ethnic Turkish Christian community in Germany. Most of them came from recent Muslim Turkish backgrounds. Germany's biggest mosque, the Cologne Central Mosque, was commissioned by DİTİB and completed in 2017. It is also the biggest European mosque outside of Turkey. Discrimination and anti-Turkism, equal to discrimination equal to. In 1985, the German journalist Günter Wallraff shocked the German public with his internationally successful book, Ganz unten, In the Pits or Way Down, in which he reported the discrimination faced by Turkish people in German society. He disguised himself as a Turkish worker called Ali Levent for over 2 years and took on minimal wage jobs and confronted German institutions. He found that many employers did not register or insure their Turkish workers. Major employers like Thyssen did not give their Turkish workers adequate breaks and did not pay them their full wage. It has been, and still is, also reported that Turkish Germans were being discriminated against at school from early age and in workplaces. It has also been found that teachers discriminate against non-German sounding names and tend to give worse grades based on names alone. The studies showed that even though a student might have had the exact number of right and wrong answers, or the exact paper, the teachers favor German names. This creates a vicious cycle where teachers favor students of German descent over non-Germans, including Turkish students, which results in worse education. This later results in Turkish people not being able to take what are deemed to be higher skill jobs, which nonetheless deepens the cracks in the cycle. There are also the reports of discrimination against Turkish Germans in other areas, such as sports. One example being the discrimination against the football player Mesut Ozil, equal to attacks against the Turkish community in Germanic to the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, and the reunification of Germany saw a sharp rise in violent attacks against Turkish Germans. A series of arson attacks, bombings, and shootings have targeted the Turkish community in both public and private spaces, such as in their homes, cultural centers, and businesses. Consequently, many victims have been killed or severely injured by these attacks. On 27 October 1991, Mete Eksi, a 19-year-old student from Kreuzberg, along with his 4 Turkish friends, were involved in a violent confrontation with 3 German brothers. As a consequence, Eksi died due to head injuries caused with a baseball bat, which was wrested by the 25-year-old attacker from Eksi's friend. His death sparked a massive outrage in the local Turkish community alleging fascist motives. This was, however, dismissed by a court as an overreaction, while acknowledging and condemning open and hidden xenophobia in Germany. His funeral in November 1991 was attended by 5,000 people. A year after Eksi's murder, on 22 November 1992, 2 Turkish girls, Ais Yilmaz and Yeliz Arslan, and their grandmother, Bahide Arslan, were killed by 2 neo-Nazis in an arson attack in their home in Malin. On 9 March 1993, Mustafa Demirel, aged 56, was attacked by 2 members of the German anti-immigrant political party, the Republicans, whilst waiting at a bus stop in Mulheim. The attackers verbally assaulted him, prompting a defensive reaction, after which one of the attackers threatened him with a gun pointing at his head. Demirel suffered a heart attack and died at the scene of the crime. 2 months later, on 28 May 1993, 4 young neo-Nazi German men, aged 16-23, set fire to the house of a Turkish family in Solingen. 3 girls and 2 women died, and 14 other members of the extended family were severely injured in the attack. German Chancellor Helmut Kohl did not attend the memorial services. Neo-Nazi attacks continued throughout the 1990s. On 18 February 1994, the Bayram family were attacked on their doorstep by a neo-Nazi neighbor in Darmstadt. The attack was not well publicized until one of the victims, Asli Bayram, was crowned Miss Germany in 2005. The armed neo-Nazi neighbor shot Asli on her left arm, and then the attacker shot Asli's father, Ali Bayram, who died from the gunshot. Between 2000 and 2006, several Turkish shopkeepers were attacked in numerous cities in Germany. The attacks were called the Bosphorus serial murders, Mordzeri Bosporus by the German authorities, or pejoratively kebab murders, Döner Morde by the press, which saw 8 Turkish and 1 Greek person killed. Initially, the German media suspected that Turkish gangs were behind these murders. However, by 2011 it came to light that the perpetrators were in fact the neo-Nazi group, the National Socialist Underground. This neo-Nazi group was also responsible for the June 2004 Cologne bombing, which resulted in 22 Turkish people being injured. On 30 February 2008, 9 Turkish people, including 5 children, died in a blaze in Ludwigshafen, DE. While there have been speculations by the Turkish media about the origin of the fire suspecting an arson attack and allegations of slow fire response time, these were rejected by an investigation, and the cause of the fire was determined to have been an electrical fault. Nevertheless, many German and Turkish politicians, including Turkish Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan, together with locally elected MP of the German parliament and appointed Minister of State for Integration in the Federal, Chancellery and German Federal Government Commissioner for Migration, Refugees and Integration Maria Boehmer, or Minister-President of Rhineland-Palatinate Kurt Beck, visited the site to express their condolences. Chancellor Angela Merkel was criticized for not attending a demonstration held in memory of the victims by 16,000 people. Not all attacks on Turks have been perpetrated by neo-Nazi right-wing Germans. For example, the perpetrator of a mass shooting in Munich on 22 July 2016, who deliberately targeted people of Turkish and Arab origin. On that day, he killed 9 victims, of which 4 victims were of Turkish origin: Ken Leyla, aged 14, Selçuk Kilik, aged 17, and Sevda Dag, aged 45, as well as Hüseyin Dayıcık, aged 19, who was a Greek national of Turkish origin. On 19 February 2020, a German neo-Nazi who expressed hate for non-German people carried out 2 mass shootings in the city of Hanau, killing 9 foreigners. He then returned to his home, killed his mother, and committed suicide. 5 of the 9 victims were Turkish citizens. On 2 April 2020, in Hamburg, a German family of Turkish descent claimed to have received a threatening letter with xenophobic content allegedly containing the coronavirus. Crime equal to Turkish gangs equal to in 2014, the annual report into organized crime, presented in Berlin by Interior Minister Thomas de Maizière, showed that there were 57 Turkish gangs in Germany. In 2016, the Die Welt and Bild reported that new Turkish motorbike gang, the Osmanen Germania, is growing rapidly. The Hannoversche Allgemeine newspaper claimed that the Osmanen Germania is advancing more and more into red light districts, which increases the likelihood of a bloody territorial battle with established gangs like the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club. Equal to Turkish ultra-nationalist movements, equal to as a result of the immigration wave in the 1960s and 1970s, far-right and ultranationalist organizations established themselves in Germany, such as the Grey Wolves, Türkische Föderation der Idealistenverein in Deutschland, Europäische Türkische Union ATB, and Turkish Islamic Union Europa ATB. In 2017, ATB and ATIB together had about 303 locations with 18,500 members. Popular culture equal to media, equal to films. The first phase in Turkish German cinema began in the 1970s and lasted through to the 1980s. It involved writers placing much of their attention on storylines that represented the living and working conditions of the Turkish immigrant workers in Germany. By the a second phase shifted towards focusing more on mass entertainment and involved the work of Turkish and German-born Turkish-German filmmakers. Critical engagements in storytelling increased further by the turn of the 21st century. Numerous films of the 1990s onwards launched the careers of many film directors, writers, and actors and actresses. Fatih Akın's films, which often examine the place of the Turkish diaspora in Germany, have won numerous awards and have launched the careers of many of its cast, including Short Sharp Shock 1998, starring Mehmet Kurtulus, and İdil Üner, Head On 2004, starring Birol Ünel and Sibel Kekilli, Kebab Connection 2004, starring Denis Moschito, The Edge of Heaven 2007, starring Baki Davrak, and Soul Kitchen 2009, starring Birol Ünel. Other notable films which have a transnational context include Feridun Zaimoglu's book-turned-film Kanak Attack 2000, Kerem Pamuk's Supersex 2004, and Özgür Yıldırım's Chico 2008. Several Turkish-German comedy films have also intentionally used comical stereotypes to encourage its viewers to question their preconceived ideas of the other, such as Zuli Aladog's film 300 Worte Deutsch, 300 Words of German, 2013, starring Almila Bagriasik, Arzu Bazman, Aykut Kayacik, and Vedat Erensin. Similarly, other recent Turkish-German comedies like Meine Verrückte Türkische Hochzeit, Kiss Me Kismet 2006, starring Hilmi Sözer, Erkan Özçelik, Aykut Kayacik, and Oze Fekt, and the film Evet, I Do, 2009, starring numerous Turkish-German actors such as Demir Gogol, Emin Sevgi Özdemir, Erden Alkan, Gandhi Mukli, Hulya Duyar, Jil Arikan, Lile Huser, Meryl Perrin, Murtuz Yolku, Sima Mere, and Sinan Akkus, have emphasized how the Turkish and German cultures come together in contemporary German society. By focusing on similarities and differences of the two cultures using comedy, these films have shifted from the earlier Turkish-German drama films of the 1980s, which focused on culture clashes. In its place, these films have celebrated integration and interethnic romance. By 2011, Yasemin Samderli and Nesrin Samderli's comedy film Almanya, Welcome to Germany, starring Aylin Tezel and Fahri Yardım, premiered at the Berlin Film Festival and was attended by the German president and the Turkish ambassador to celebrate 50 years since the mass migration of Turkish workers to Germany. Indeed, stories confronting Turkish labor migration and debates about integration, multiculturalism, and identity are recurring themes in Turkish-German cinema. Nonetheless, not all films directed, produced, or written by Turkish Germans are necessarily about the Turkish experience in Germany. Several Turkish Germans have been involved in other genres, such as Bülent Akinci, who directed the German drama Running on Empty 2006, Menan Yapo, who has directed the American supernatural thriller Premonition 2007, and Thomas Arslan, who directed the German Western film Gold 2013. Several Turkish-origin actors from Germany have also starred in Turkish films, such as Haluk Piz, who starred in O da Beni Seviyor 2001. Television in the first decade of the 21st century, several German television series in which the experience of Turkish Germans as a major theme gained popularity in Germany, and in some cases gained popularity abroad. 2. For example, Sinan Toprak ist der Unbestechliche, Sinan Toprak is the Incorruptible, 2001-2002, and Mordkommission, Istanbul Homicide Unit Istanbul 2008-present, which both star Erol Sander. In 2005, Tevfik Basir's book Zwischen Gott und Erde, Time of Wishes, was turned into a primetime TV German movie starring Erhan Emre, Lale Yavas, Tim Seyfi, and Hilmi Sözer, and won the prestigious Adolf Grimm Prize. Another popular Turkish-German TV series was Ali bin Jimmy, Everybody Loves Jimmy, 2006-2007, starring Eralp Uzun and Gulkan Camps. Due to the success of Ali Liben Jimmy, it was made into a Turkish series called Semil Oldu Jimmy, making it the first German series to be exported to Turkey. By 2006, the award-winning German television comedy-drama series Turkish für Anfänger, Turkish for Beginners, 2006-2009, became one of the most popular shows in Germany. The critically acclaimed series was also shown in more than 70 other countries. Created by Bora Dagdakin, the plot is based on interethnic relations between German and Turkish people. Adnan Maral plays the role of a widower of 2 children who marries an ethnic German mother of 2 children, forming the Öztürk Schneider family. The comedy consisted of 52 episodes and 3 seasons. By 2012, Turkish for Beginners was made into a feature film. It was the most successful German film of the year, with an audience of 2.5 million. Other notable Turkish-origin actors on German television include Erdoğan Atalay, Erkan Gündüz, Ismail Deniz, Olgu Kaglar, Özgür Ozata, Taner Sahin Türk, and Timur Ülker. Whilst Turkish-origin journalists are still underrepresented, several have made successful careers as reporters and TV presenters, including Erkan Arakan and Nazan X. Many Turkish Germans have also starred in numerous critically acclaimed Turkish drama series. For example, numerous actors and actresses in Muhteşem Yüzyıl were born in Germany, including Meryem Üzerli, Nur Fetihoglu, Selma Ergek, and Ozan Güven. Other popular Turkish German performers in Turkey include Fahriye Evcen, who has starred in Yaprak Dökümü, and Kurt Sait ve Sura. Equal to comedy, equal to one of the first comedians of Turkish origin to begin a career as a mainstream comedian, is Django Asul, who began his career in satire in the 1990s. Another very successful comedian is Bülent Ceylan, who performed his first solo show, Donor for One, in 2002. By 2011, the broadcasting agency RTL aired Ceylan's own comedy show, The Bülent Ceylan Show. Other notable comedians include Özkan Koçar, Fatih Şevikoğlu, Murat Topal, Serdar Samuncu, Kaya Yanar, and female comedian İdil Baydar. Equal to literature, equal to since the 1960s, Turkish people in Germany have produced a range of literature. Their work became widely available from the late 1970s onwards, when Turkish origin writers began to gain sponsorships by German institutions and major publishing houses. Some of the most notable writers of Turkish origin in Germany include Akif Pirinci, Alev Tekinay, Emine Sevgi Özdemir, Feridun Zaimoglu, Nekla Kelek, Renan Demirkan, and Zafer Senakak. These writers approach a broad range of historical, social, and political issues, such as identity, gender, racism, and language. In particular, German audiences have often been captivated by Oriental depictions of the Turkish community. Equal to music, equal to, in the mid-20th century, the Turkish immigrant community in Germany mostly followed the music industry in Turkey, particularly pop music and Turkish folk music. Hence, the Turkish music industry became very profitable in Germany by the 1970s. The arabesque genre erupted in Turkey and became particularly popular among Turks in Germany. These songs were often played and sang by the Turkish community in Germany in coffee houses and taverns that replicated those in Turkey. These spaces also provided the first stage for semi-professional and professional musicians. Consequently, by the end of the 1960s, some Turks in Germany began to produce their own music, such as Metin Turcos, who took up themes of the Turkish immigration journey and their working conditions. By the 1990s, the Turkish Germans became more influential in the music industry in both Germany and Turkey. In general, many Turkish Germans were brought up listening to Turkish pop music, which greatly influenced the music they began to produce. They were also influenced by hip-hop music and rap music. Since the 1990s, the Turkish-German music scene has developed creative and successful new styles, such as Oriental pop and rap and Arabesque, a fusion of Turkish arabesque songs and R&B music. Examples of Oriental pop and rap emerged in the early 2000s, with Bastürk's first single, Yana Yana, Side by Side. The Arabesque style gained popularity in Germany, with Muhabbet's 2005 single, Sie liegt in meinen Armen, She Lies in My Arms. By 2007, Muhabbet released the song, Deutschland, Germany. The lyrics appeal to Germans to finally accept the Turkish immigrants living in the country. In 2015, several Turkish-German musicians released the song Sen de Bizdensen, You Are One of Us. The vocalists included Echo Fresh, Elif Batman, Mehtap Guitar, Özlem Özdil, and Volkan Baydar. Durgun Tokmak, Erkandiz, Serdar Bogatakin, and Zafer Kuruz were also involved in the production.